Philip is summoned by the angel, and he goes out into the desert, and then the Holy Spirit says, go to the chariot. So the Holy Spirit speaks. Respectfully, forces don't speak. I guess with that being said, with the Holy Spirit guiding us into all truth, earlier you said that the Holy Spirit was an active force. Is that correct?
Yes, and that does guide us towards the truth.
Yeah. Well, so in John, and you're right, he does guide us into all truth, and that because I notice a lot of people refer to, for my friends, like I said before, they would refer to him as an active force and refer to him as an it, but I believe the Holy Spirit is a person, and using more humanistic terms is just saying he's a person. Like I said, I don't think he's corporeal. I think he's incorporeal, where he doesn't have a body of flesh and bones. But I believe he is a spirit, and I believe that he's that an active force. I guess what I'm getting at is an active force does not have. We don't use personal pronouns for an active force. You see what I'm saying? Where Jesus refers to him as a he quite a bit in John 16.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about it too, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I think your beliefs and the way you're reasoning is very similar as far as your understanding. Jesus, yes, is a higher being, and be definitely recognized as we do worship and give honor to Jesus. We give honor to Jehovah. And I can see where the Holy Spirit can be confusing, and I can understand that completely also. And when you refer to he, most terms in the Bible are in a masculine form. Because God, if you think about it, if he's a spirit, he has no sex.
Well, it does refer to him as he, and quite a bit.
It does. It really does. And even even in our depictions, in our pictures, when you see angels, how do you see them when we draw them out? Because I'm sure you've seen our magazines. Sure.
Yeah, it's always referred to as a he, and to be fair, there are no when Gabriel shows up or Michael shows up, it's not. It's always a male. I'm not saying there's no female. There's no female angels. Not saying that because we don't know, so we can't just we can't say it's not possible, because as you know, anything's possible.
Right. But yeah, it is, and because it doesn't really say. But everything is definitely done in the mask. Not because I'm going into some other topic, but
no, I get it. We could go every which way around the world with that. Yeah. So I get it. I get it. But
you're right in the sense it does say he. But and the reason I would think it would say he is because we will obviously refer to God as he. That's my main point. I didn't want you to get confused with the other.
It's okay, because I'm looking at John 16 right now. You don't have to go there if you don't want. It says, however, this is Jesus talking. However, when that one comes, the Spirit of truth. I'm reading from the New World Translation. However, when that one comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you into all truth, for he will not speak on his own initiative, but what he hears, he will speak, and he will declare to you the things to come. So. I guess my big thing is this. We see the Holy Spirit. It says what he hears, he will speak. So he speaks, and we also see the Holy Spirit. We see him speaking we see him actually speaking in Hebrews. I think it's Hebrews 3. We see him speaking, saying, "Do not harden yourself. Do not harden yourself to the calling." I'm paraphrasing it because I don't have it directly in front of me, but also. In Acts, when we have that scene where the Ethiopian eunuch is on the road, he's in his chariot, and Philip is summoned by the angel, and he goes out into the desert, and then the Holy Spirit says, "Go to the chariot." So the Holy Spirit speaks, respectfully, forces don't speak. You can't suppress a force, because you can suppress the Holy Spirit. You can't suppress a force. You can't grieve a force, because you can grieve the Holy Spirit.
Right, you can. But what about this? What about in the scriptures where it says the Spirit can be poured out upon humans and can fill them?
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's his role is like it says here. Jesus is explaining the helper. He's explaining that helper who is going to come. He said, "I'm not going to leave you here. I'm going to send the helper." And then he lays down what exactly he's going to do. That he's going to guide you into all truth. He's not going to speak on his own initiative. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it says difference in function does not indicate inferiority of nature. Where oh, I lost my whole train of thought just now. Where basically he's going to guide you into all truth, but basically, I guess I just lost my whole train of thought, so now I'm like losing my brain. But
That's okay.
it's cool. But yeah, but that's his role. His role, whether that was decided in eternity past, is the role of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That is his role. Is that he is the guide. Will be guiding us into all truth, and because like Jesus said, he will be the helper that he's going to send, and we see that on Pentecost, right? The Holy Spirit comes and
Exactly.
Yes.
I was going to bring that point because in themselves, the Hebrew and Greek words for spirit, like you mentioned, it gives no hint of personality, but it kind of does in the sense that you can grieve it, and that like you mentioned. It can speak, it can teach, it can bear witness, it can act as a remembrancer, it can act as a helper, just like exactly what you said.
Uh-huh.
But when you convey the idea of a breath, like the Greek words, it says the Greek words, or the Hebrew and Greek words refer to the Spirit as conveying an idea of breath or air, wind, or motion. Now, we can say, obviously the wind, it moves, it has an active force, obviously it has no personality, but Jehovah's does. But it is still a power, and the wind can move you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some form of motion. There's something that's involved with that. So in those terms, it's invisible. Obviously, we can't see Jehovah's Holy Spirit. We can't even see Jehovah.
No, and that's and that's an interesting point that you made there, because